Testing audio. Testing audio. Hello, Ronnie. Making sure everything's set up. I'm just gonna mess around a bit today. If anyone has any questions, just go and ask. There's not much that's really changed in the game, so not too much to talk about, like game news wise. Biggest change was the Infinity lockbox change, so we already know about that. Gonna pop into an ISA. I'm using this similar build to what I was using a week or two ago. The Vomph. So the Vomph is a good ship. It's not the best ship ever. Uh, the one important thing is that if you want to get it cheap, you missed out on getting it cheap because the price is now 3 to 4 times higher than what it was. But the Vomph is a solid ship. It's not a record setter, but it's certainly a fun ship to fly. I didn't go check my cooldowns. I'll catch up with the chat after this. Wasn't the best ever. Demetrius in there on his cannon boat. Yeah, I bought a few of the Vomps when they were cheap. Not for the ship itself, actually, for the trait. The trait has some use on non-threat builds. So science boats are one thing that can get quite a bit out of them, out of the trait from that, because if you're above, what is it, 80% HP, every 5 seconds it'll give you a slight cooldown reduction to all of your bridge officer abilities. So I remember asking in the trading channel if anyone wanted to sell a Vomp when I was getting that trait for a few characters, and they were asking me why I was wanting to buy one. I'm gonna have to turn this game audio down a little bit. The Universe class. So, you know, that's a fun ship. Um, it's... I don't think it'll do as much as the Vomp, and it's certainly not the best cruiser ever, but it is a big ship, and it's a bit fun to fly. I like the Lance in it. That one's more about having fun and just how huge that ship is. Yeah, Peter, the backstep change, or all those temporal consoles off of the Temporal Science Vessel, the Temporal Destroyer, the Paradox, those now being usable on any ship. Uh, while it's something that I would like to see done to other consoles, it has had a very negative impact on PvP because the temporal backstep there is just extremely powerful. So I need to get me some competitive marks. So the quickest way for me to do that is just to go into a red alert. Do a Tholian. Like the character I'm on right now, I have the Vomp, I have the Universe on it. I mean, they're not gonna beat other ships, but they are fun to fly, and you can make them do good DPS. If you can get something up doing over 100k, I consider it fine. It's just a little bit laggy. There we go. Nice and easy. It's gonna be a competitive shield on this character. I can't answer that one there, Ronnie. I don't remember. And with that, you know, that 50, 70, that's fine. That'll handle nearly all content in the game. Just a few elites where that's not quite cutting it, like Corfez now, but 50 to 70 is fine. But for me personally, I just always aim for 100 just because the min-max part of me. Gotta get them, you know, 6 digits. Also, I remember there was someone asking what FPS I usually get in combat, so I've got that up at the top left. In that red alert, it was between 30 to 50, like. Well, Nick, is that a tack or Cytune, or is it an engineer? If it's an engineer, I'm sorry. Uh, which special weapons? Do you mean the heavy, the experimental? Or are you talking about something else? Uh, yeah, if you're attacked, then yeah, you'll get there. All these people that invested in engineers heavily over the years, I feel bad for him. I think my Vomp is just storing stuff right now. Wow. About the universe. Not used these ships in ages. Yeah. Especially if there's major changes. Thankfully, though, in the last year, excluding season 13, there's not really been many changes. Had the Miracle Worker specialization, which only really affects cruisers. And even then, it's more about like threat tanks. I haven't renamed most of these ships back from when I was messing around with this character in 2016. Okay, Dane Bramaged. The heavy weapons or experimentals that they're now calling them, you know, it depends on which one you're using. Like that free lightning bolt one, that's still not the best thing ever. Um, but I would say, looking at the DPS numbers I get out of something better like a railgun or the shucked in. Here, let me swap over. The shucked in heavy weapon, the Zenkethi Escort one, that is the best heavy weapon you can get. I'm still used to calling them heavy weapons. I know they're not that anymore. They are definitely worth using. Like this one here. This is the one off the shucked in, the experimental protometalase sheller. This thing I've seen people get 10 to 15k out of. It's a very good weapon. It usually does more than I see a single turret do. The Nadion bomb. The issue with the Nadion bomb is it's not been buffed up. So that was a pre-Delta Rising console. What? Oh, hold on. Just the shuck. There's that ship that has it. Shuck dashed in. But the Nadion bomb was never buffed up after Delta Rising, so it's still doing the same amount it did back then, and even with damage buffs behind it, just doesn't really compete with newer clicky consoles that you see. It's something that could use a little bit of a buff. And High Life, yeah, there's engineers that can do over 100K. It's just when you compare it to a tactical or science, it's a fair bit harder to do. And the issue is with engineers is just your captain abilities are working against you. Power is not as important as it used to be, and when it is, tacticals and size can get quite a bit of power from things like supremacy, leech, all the things that have come out over the years. And when it comes to survivability, well, you have all these clicky consoles now that give you how much survivability. 2.5 minutes lag in comments. Oh. Best not be my ISP. They are not happy with me because I'm approaching the data cap. %78 used for the month. Thankfully, it resets on the 23rd. 8 data caps. Let's see, is there any PvP going on? On here, what about Karat? There's actually quite a few in Karat. Running a full set of the bio phasers isn't going to net the best results ever. If you want to use the best phasers right now, those would be the sensor linked phasers from the Discovery lockbox. Yeah. Those things are pretty nice just because they are guaranteed to give you a little bit of crit and defense instead of proc, which procs don't do so well post season 13. I just used the 2-piece set for that. For the heavy turret and then the multi-conduit tac console thing. Okay. Yeah, that's good. There goes KDF. We used a revive. No, that was a revive because they were out for longer than 8 seconds, so I was thinking for a moment that might have been Blaze of Glory. Well, they came out with Constable, but Constable is a worthless specialization for 99% of people. Um, the only use it has is PvP and single target builds in PvE, which most people in PvE are doing AoE. So really, for most people, you can just completely ignore that specialization because it has 0% value for most people. You get no buff out of it unless you're targeting something for 4 seconds, and even then, it's only buffing against that one target. The impossible scenario, you mean no win? Was it a universal build that titled that where it was doing like all the weapon types? Because I did. That might be the build I did that you're talking about, where it was a Defiant using mines, a torp, beams, and a cannon, or a few cannons. It did well, um, but something changed with mines. I was having issues getting good results out of mines a few months ago. Karat has reset. I need to get backstep for this character. We've got a Clink just sitting right here. There may be a few too many of them. Yeah. A few more than I thought there was. This is the obfuscation screen from the Walker class. It will make you completely immune to everything for 20 seconds. Nothing can kill you or touch you. Oh, backstepped as soon as I came out. They wanted me. Best zombie healer? I don't really have a healer build. I made one on Tribble, but I never committed to it over on holodeck. Look at all that spam. Oh, there's talk lots. The Daimosh is one of the best science ships in PvP right now because it's got a console on it that well, the entire time that the console is up, it makes you immune to damage. So what it does is it makes a duplicate of your ship, and they have to kill that duplicate before they can damage you, and it lasts for like 30, 45 seconds or something like that. But on top of that, these Daimosh can now use the temporal backstep from the wells, and it's just such a terrible combo. Can't believe they did that. Kinetic. I lose him as soon as I get in there. What size span? Oh. There's a bit more in here than I can handle. They're gonna backstep on me. Yeah, I'm wondering what they'll announce next. So there's 6 Klingons in here. Let's see. Aw. It's very difficult to keep lock on your target. Oh, I'm dead. I can't get out of this. Aw, so close. Oh, they're right at the spawn. If I can turn. Too many immunes. Here we go. Which A6, so which tier 6 ship should you buy? Well, that depends on what exactly you're wanting to do. Like, are you wanting just a general DPS ship? You want to do science stuff? You want a tank? Also, you know, what faction? Oh, reset in 10 seconds. Ramming speed does not scale up with your speed. The other thing with ramming speed is it only affects one thing. So if you have multiple targets lined up and you accidentally, like, if someone's got hanger pets out and you hit that hanger pet before you hit them, then you just wasted the ramming speed. We've slowed down massively on this colony holding. We don't want to spend the 20 plus million dill this will take to finish. Well, then what faction is that for? Like, for tanks, if you're fed, the Odysseys are still very good. And why you think those might be the duplicates from their Deimos console? That's from the console off the Temporal Destroyer, the Mannheim, or whatever it's called. Oh, there's obfuscation screen. Placated. Back step. Dragon. Got a fleet mate. Oh, terrible. That voice of the prophets is pretty good in PvP. Might try the bug ship in here. What's stupid is even the bug ship can use the backstep. It's just so stupid. Kind of terrible. I have that on other characters, but this specific ship can't use it. The Quantum Warhead module is a very nice option for like vape hit and run setups. A lot of Klingons were running it, but I don't think it's the best option right now. So, would you guys rather see me hop in to Krat with swap over to my bug ship, or like swap over to my Fed and just get stomped on for using a cruiser? What would you all prefer? And also, Peter, for Romulans, you only have the plasma version of that, which just doesn't do that great. Bug ship it is. Now that's just a mess of consoles. Need to put the obfuscation screen in here. I guess one TAC console it is. Oh boy. Let's see how bad Honored Dead does in here. See if it ends up being useful at all. And I don't quite like what I'm running on here right now, so let me see. Yeah, I don't... Oh, there it is. What am I gonna do? I don't think I have a full polar on set. I don't think anything has changed with the UI. I don't have too much to use polar on wise, so I guess I'll just go with the rainbow. Which really won't make too much of a difference here. Put the Slachi back on. This is a very good build. I'm gonna get farmed in this so bad. Right. Okay, DPRM's on. Worried there for a moment. Oh man, this is bad. This is very, very bad. Oh, don't worry, Omega. I'm gonna show a terrible build. What I need to do is get some single cannons ready. Because stuff is just moving too fast. And single cannons are the lazy way out. Yeah, works. Don't tell me all the Klingons are gone. No, I just gotta find them. Science people. Fire weapons? Anytime weapons? Dragon, I'm glad to hear that the delay is preventing you from stream sniping. Immune, immune, immune. Of course. I'll just sit here waiting till I can hit his console. That'll do that. gonna get damaged by this guy's feedback. Oh, Zippy finished him off. That was terrible. Yes, Omega, I reskilled. I'm not on a tackle now. You can calm down about that. Oh wait, I still have a point left. I guess I didn't finish this last night. Oops. Figure that out later. Let's go full on. Do I have enough single cannons here? Wow, I don't. Wanted to stick with the Polaron theme. I'll have to get me some phase Polaron single cannons. I've got some stored away somewhere. Upgrade them next week. Where's the wide arc I was just... Sometimes I feel like I'm blind. I can't get the wide arc right now. Just because I know Omega's watching, it'll trigger him. There we go. Omega's sitting over there, cringing. You can feel it from here. Very pro build. The Defiant. So the issue you have with the Defiant is the layout on it just isn't exactly... well, it's not too far off, I guess, in some ways from this, but it just doesn't have the survivability this has. This thing has a lot of survivability due to the Gemidar console set. Like, you got the Dominion Defense screen, which is a very powerful console. He has DPRM up, which is healing him quite a bit. You know, Omega, just because you're wanting to see the best PvP builds ever, I might swap over and set up one of my Fed cruisers. How do you feel about that, Omega? You want to see me bring a cruiser into PvP? That's exactly what I'm going to go do. It's going to be a pro PvP build. Let's see, I gotta even put on a torp for it. Do the quantum phase. Oh, you do, Omega. For those that are wondering what I'm talking about, with Omega there in chat, you see cruisers are absolutely terrible in PvP in the current meta. They are unable to take the beating that they will get in any serious PvP, just because there is so much raw damage potential nowadays. Gonna have to swap this over. Let's do beam overload 3. See what other changes I'll do here. Energy web's pretty handy. Do not need that. Let's do honored dead. That'll come in handy. Actually, hold on here. Shield overload. Where are you? You know, this would be so handy if this were all in, you know, alphabetical order. Instead, every time I want to find a specific trait, I gotta sort through this thing 15 times. Or memorize what the icon looks like. I might not have shield overload unlocked on this character. I don't think I do. Oh man. Shield overload is sort of needed to keep your resistance up. I'm gonna take this off, put something else on for survivability then. Going the extra mile. Where are you? This will be a very, very bad situation for me. We'll give it a go, Omega, but if I die, it's all your fault for some reason. Oh, let's take this build to the next level. Where's Metreon gas at? Take that off. Weapon sensor enhancer. Oh yeah, boys, we got this. I don't have any EC on this character. Of course. Or anything here that's trash. No. I'm gonna fly there the slow way. You know, I don't get why they haven't improved that. Because I know Spartan is a longtime player, and either he's just ignoring it or he's brought it up and the people above him have ignored it. So we go into Karat. And we gonna be farmed. Before I do that, I need to remember that I just at the start of this stream went and got the shield on this, so I need to go upgrade this quick. Also need to put QL on. That worked. This bug. Why does this thing do this? Why does this little sector do this? Do I have any cool costumes? No, I don't really mess around with the costumes too much. If this resets my location, yeah, I'm gonna swap characters and get some EC to just warp down to Drozana. Because I am now stuck in this spot. Oh no, I've encountered that issue on a few characters where it's like a loop. What happened there is I just got cryptic. It's pretty much what we can call that there. Hello, David. I'm about to go into Karat with very pro PvP build, man. It's a phaser assault cruiser. The most effective. soon as this bridge loads. Game crash. The game crashed. Is there an issue with the stream? I see YouTube giving me a red light. Oh boy. Where's all of my abilities? Oh man. I'm just looking at my tray. Oh yeah, I've got the battle cloak. And this is gonna be so OP. They're not gonna know what hit them. Maybe now I can get to Karat. Oh, launch the Metreon gas. We cannot lose that. Battery's on there. If is on there. Can't forget the Riker maneuver. Missing something. Team 3. Did not have shield overload, so this can go back to EPTW. Yeah, boys, we got it. We're gonna be farmed. Is there an issue with the stream quality right now? Probably should just ask because chat. Hold on. Okay, stream is fine. Good. Let me guess, all the Klingons are gone now. There's one Klingon in here. One. Try to get people into solo duo. Well, in the meantime, I'll shoot some Borg. See if we can get enough in there for the Q to pop. Oh, I know, David, it's very strange. Yes, PvP does pop every now and then. There's also still PvP events going on in the community. On the 21st, the PvP Bootcamp, which there's a link to their Discord in the description, is going to be having a nice competition. Oh yeah, let's cap and hold versus I'm thinking it's Sad Panda's pre-made. How many of them are on? Or just a few of them teamed up? 3 of them? Okay. Cap and hold. I have no science abilities on this build. The issue with PvP right now is usually the... Oh boy. Hawk. Backstep spam. Tends to be the issue now. Well, that solved me. Thank you for not spamming abilities. Get back here. Need more resistance. Terrible. And David, I think I can correct your strange there. Going in with the cruiser into PvP is just downright stupid. Other than a Sagittarius on a dedicated Psi healer. Oh, we've lost this. Placates. No. We can now see the fun of science. He's gone. I've got a dedicated healer with me, and it's not going to keep this cruiser alive. Not once they start actually, like, focusing me. We don't have enough damage to take out these size. They've got 3 size and a vapor. So that's setting. There we go. We gotta go to cap some points or this will never end. This is the issue with cap and hold. They tend to take a very long time. Because this is still broken. Oh no. The scoreboard's been broken now for ages. If we kill him, this will be so sad. You just got stuck in the Metreon gas there. I can't catch up to him. This thing is way too slow. Wait, why is... We eject Metreon gas has 3-minute cooldown? Huh. Doesn't seem quite right. Oh wait, I can just battle cloak, can't I? Eventually. I don't have my target keybind set up. Terrible. If we don't catch him, he'll sit in his cloak until his Zol's back up. Terrible. Sagittarius with backstep. Now that's a terrible thing. Can't believe that almost killed him. Cruiser command. Yeah, I've got it up. It goes away visually after a little bit. Need to stay close to dragon. What size spam? Oh. Wow. 54k crit from Tech Overload. Rita's down here somewhere. Well, this is 2/3 over. Just looking to see if I can... Oh, there's Reed. Reed will run because he doesn't like to be in combat. We almost had him. If we would have had his Zal nuked off earlier, that would have killed him. Disappointing though overall. Yeah, it's cruisers had their time with season 12 with the feedback pulse threat tank meta, but now they've lost that. They don't have much going for them. Um, this console, I thought this had a shorter cooldown. This, let's say, pull up the information panel here. Riker maneuver, let's say 3 minutes, because that showed 3 minute cooldown. That's not right. This Metreon gas warhead launcher is complete garbage, so I'm just gonna take it off and put another phaser console back on. Um, this incremental phase cloaking device is completely trash also. What can I put on? Worthless. I need to get an obfuscation screen for this character, but I don't feel like buying a walker class. Okay, I'm gonna hit this just to see how long this cooldown is. Okay, now it says 2 minutes. It was just weird before where it said 3 minutes. Or Reed wants to 1v1. Reed is known within the PvP community because he's an engineer in a cruiser, which is something that is not very optimal. He's very insistent about it. I'm not gonna engage in that. And yeah, cruisers just in general, like if you've got one that doesn't have a good specialization seat, it's just gonna have a rough time. Well, now there's 2 Klingons in here. Just have to find where they are. They're either really high up or they're sitting in their spawn somewhere. Okay. Go back to PvE being PvP is and Krat is dead and the Qs have a pre-made in them, which I can't really screw around with a build in there against a pre-made. This in the slow scroll up trying to find things. Charged weapons. Vectoring arrays. So we'll stick with superior command. Swap that for that and call it a day. I'm not even going to bother getting Constable on most of my characters, it's just not worth using. I'd hate for these abilities to be slotted right back in. Let's do the favored ISA. I know we all love ISA. Is there ever a scenario other than being in a tank where you would use attrition warfare in its current state? No. Attrition warfare was hit too hard, and you just don't want to be getting the threat now. You want to avoid the threat as much as possible. But if you're in a solo map, it doesn't matter. Could still be handy for some cooldown reduction, especially on like a science build. But I wouldn't want to be pulling threat on most science builds. Okay. Favorite ISA. So I don't know about y'all, but in preparation for Victory is Life, I've started preparing for just building up a new character. So I've been stockpiling research assignments. Now I'm not trying to say go out and buy them. I don't have any listed, but if you see some that are under 2 to 2.5 million per, stocking up on those research assignments wouldn't be a bad idea. That's how you can quickly level. Not gonna focus on them too much, gonna focus on getting to the other side. I may have forgotten to make a few changes back from the PvP build. Just a few. Yeah, there precisely is no advantage to tanking now. If you want to tank, it's because, well, if you're running a tank build, it's because you want to tank, or you're building for going into pugs like this where you're going to need a tank. You can still do DPS as a tank, but it's no longer the meta where you have to be a tank to do DPS like we saw before Season 13. Like this build here that I'm doing, it being a threat build, I'm doing it just because it's fun and it feels right for the ship. I'm still stuck in that mindset of cruisers being tanks. Been invited to a Hive Space Elite, so if anyone has any other questions, drop them in chat. Try to respond as soon as I can. Go from this trash build I had set up on this to something better. I feel you can make pretty much anything move fast if you're using competitive engines. The emergency con hologram with emergency powered engines, you can make pretty much anything move where you need it to move to. They say they're gonna be tanking, so I'm gonna put faith in my teammates. I'm gonna get killed here. To do for the last trait. Guess I'll do preferential targeting and swap something so I can set up. Okay. Sometimes I feel blind looking at this stuff. There's just so many different consoles. Gotta have that obfuscation screen. One of the ships I wish was really better is the Temporal Destroyer. I wish they would have given that, you know, like a 5-2 seating and a second specialization seat. The way that ship is and a lot of other 4-3 escorts, it really gimps their performance. Let's try Constable. I've not used it before in here. I'll figure out where I want that last spec point later. Rates look good. Just this on. And the quad cannon. So I have a trilithium turret on here. Remember if I upgraded it. There we go. You know, back in the day, I have the Temporal Destroyer on my Science Captain because that used to be my original main. And I have that ship on it, the Temporal Destroyer, and I used to love flying that thing. It's a great looking ship, but it needed some love even back then. Like the Romulan and Klingon versions, if I recall, don't even have a cloak. And that is something they did not fix with the Tier 6 versions. Those are ships that need a legitimate balancing to make them competitive. Okay, here we go. Hive Space Elite. When this thing hits about 23, I'm going to hit my obfuscation screen because we're sitting in this for 20 seconds. I'll come out with a Cat 2 120% damage buff for 20 seconds.
Only fools dream of victory.
But why am I in red alert? Well, there goes that. Something put me in red alert off the bat. Pick out a few spheres after I kill this cube. These spheres can ruin an ISA or an HSE run. What's funny is those spheres have more HP than these cubes. The normal cubes, that is. Which doesn't make sense, but it's cryptic. Double cutscene. Aw, oh, too close. Staying cloaked to avoid that feedback. This is not exactly the best HSC run ever, I will say that.
You
And didn't red alert as soon as I respawn.
you will have strength of purpose. You will be born.
As soon as you see that feedback pulse pop up, you pop the obfuscation screen. Sit in it till it's down, and then you have a nice damage buff when you come out. Then you stay too close and get hit by the Aston. Oh, that's just my luck there. This thing will still be alive though, because I'm doing most of the damage here. That was a painful run. $164K. That was a bit painful. About 51% crit chance on the weapons. Killed 164 and I died 2 or 3 times there, so not the worst ever. Dragon damaging. Your damaging was 66%.
You cannot defeat.
So you had 5 attacks in per second. Yeah, it kept the threat off me. What messed me up was Warp Core and then the Aceton. So does anyone else have any questions? That was not the best run ever. I actually messed up a few things. My doffs here. Yeah, I wasn't running emergency powered engines, so that could have been swapped out. KLL's not really needed outside of PvP, except when fighting like Iconians. So I've seen some people ask, what makes Romulans better? And one of the really great things about Romulans is like the singularity abilities. You lose some power, and you don't use normal warp cores. Instead, you use singularity cores on just the Romulan ships. Um, these singularity cores work a bit different, but they give you access to these singularity abilities. So you've got your plasma shockwave, which isn't that great. The singularity jump is nice to get out of stuff. This singularity overcharge is complete trash. Warp Shadow is very good. If you let it build up to level 5, it'll deploy 5 warp shadows of yourself that will just take the threat away from you, which is I use that in the Hive there. And then Quantum Absorption, which is not the best heal ever, but it's there if you need it. Where do you pick up the 6th off slot? That's at the Fleet Spire. As soon as you beam in, it'll be to the left, a guy standing in the little cafeteria area. And other benefits to the Romulans, other than the bridge officers, which most people know about, is you can use a lot of the Romulan consoles on any Romulan ship. For the lower end ones. That's the same as Feds and Klingons for most of them, but you get some really good consoles like this shield absorptive frequency generator. I'm gonna run a queue here and you'll see what it does, like how much it helps heal wise. But this thing is insane for how much healing it can do. Because it triggers off of your weapons, and it's an actual per shot proc. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna wrap up the stream with a Kittimer Space Advanced. And we're just gonna take a look at the end at the healing numbers from it. Yeah, he's right in the doorway to the cafeteria. And if anyone else has any other questions, because this will go up as video after this, I'll just try to respond as soon as possible with comments. Let's see. So close. I'm gonna stop buffing that up a little. Ooh, warp core. Gotta be careful with them warp cores. With these rapid fire builds, it's fun in advance to just pop the transformers and stuff before all the generators are taken down. Right, I forgot to hit that. Oh, the other side beat us. Rapid fire misfired because why not? My computer's just not good enough for everything to activate properly. I know, the warp core breach, man. The dragon, I'm casual, I'm dying in advanced. Proves I'm not a filthy elitist. Okay, well, thank you everyone for watching. I'm hoping some part of the stream was entertaining. like watching me die to multiple warp core breaches. But I'm going to cut the stream off here because it's been about 2 hours. So you all next Saturday when I do a stream with the PvP Bootcamp event. See you all then.